be in front of this because this is only on this right now. A quick furthermore that I forgot to mention. Video games, as you well know, are taking over the world. Screens are taking over the world. You were just doing a wonderful drawing app. I was telling them I'm always ambivalent because I more and more use the iPad, including for the drawings. But somehow I know the purists, the pure play therapists want to use paper and pens and markers and all that kinesthetic real and not just on screen. I get it. But the screen is so familiar to them and it's so magical in so many ways. I get it. It is infusing into children's play in sometimes dramatic, if not potentially disturbing ways. Example, this kid made a sand world and he made it very clear that what this was a screen. He said, I'm making a screenshot of a game. Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't know what to make. I'm like, man, that's cool. And actually, I could show you I can share. I don't know how much you can see this. This is what he made. Here it is. Yeah. Oh, cool. So he makes these soldiers and all that. He makes it very clear that this is a screenshot, and we're the audience watching this. And another kid, it was funny, it was all kind of in the same week, came in and says, okay, I'm going to make a Halo game. And, hang on, he made it such that when he would go pick another object, he said, I'm pausing the game. He's pausing the game. Pause, as any figure, turns it back on, as if the whole thing's a game. Please.
In your discussion of the need to feel connected and stuff, do you feel like that there's some kind of risk in the transition that seems to be happening with kids in play and that they're controlling and observing lives but they're not connected to them?
Totally. And I'm also worried about the robbing of the magic mind by supplying images. A song way before your time called Angel of the Morning. Well, it was way before your time. There might have been a remix or whatever, but the original, and it was a beautiful song, and it reminds me of a marvelous moment with my first love, and I have all my own associations to it.
It's Juice Newton.
Sorry?
It was Juice Newton.
Oh, really? Juice Newton? No, well, that might be a different version. The point being, I remember when MTV first started happening. It was a huge hit. What I didn't like about it, supplied me images for music. And now every time I played that song, I don't have my own image, I have the image supplied to me. Video games, all that stuff do that incredibly. But here's a great example of that. Here, these kids, on the one hand, we have magic mind. That's one of the draws of video games. Video games are unbelievably powerful. I totally get it. For a variety of reasons. Let's just look at Humanistic. Talk about competence and mastery motives. Oh my God. You get to be competent and masterful in ways you never could be in your real life. Let me finish the sentence because I want to hear what you say. You can fly. You can slay dragons. You can talk about archetypal pulls. You're archetypes. You're living out the longings of the unlived self. Well, you get to do it on the screen incredibly competently. So it hits competence motives. You're connected. Are you kidding? Of course you are. Online to all these, and you get to compete, and you get to be connected and show how powerful you are. Particularly if you're not particularly good at soccer or these other things, these other ways of feeling connected. Remember, I believe underneath the longing for competence, never mind, it feels good to do that, is then I will be connected. I will survive and I will be valued, I'll be connected. So video games supply a sense of connection in a faux kind of way, maybe. They supply a sense of competence and mastery at an archetypal level. Mainlining, no wonder. Especially if you're not particularly otherwise competent. One of my dear friend's kids is fabulous at video games and he's not very competent in much else. And he, as you know, you work up the hierarchy, and he had a very high figure in World of Warcraft, which is the crack cocaine of video games. Oh, crack cocaine. Though Minecraft is pretty intensely addictive. He sold that on eBay for like $1,200. You can sell the account. You have a comment or question?
One of the things to look at the positive aspects of video games. I had a client that was very challenged in other areas.
Right.
He really he understood video games, and he really did well in the military because it was very strict rules and boundaries and pause. And so I started talking about life, how press pause, take a breath.
That's very good.
So
use the metaphor.
Yeah, and then he started studying social interactions in a way that I can rewind and say, like, I apologize.
Very cool. They use it with Asperger-ish, autistic-ish kids. They always say if you had to go into surgery, ask what they played video games, pick the surgeon that was good at video games, how to make quick decisions under a lot of stress, because there is. I mean, the one time I played Black Ops, I mean, I was killed every 31 seconds. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I get that it feels real. I mean, that's the other thing. You're in these environments that feel very real. As you know, it's a whole subfield of desensitization, including for PTSD on war folks. They have them set up the actual battles that they actually were in and have them replay them. I mean, it's a lot. You can do a lot. Then there are these other studies. There's a transcultural study of creativity in kids. And it's actually shown some decrease in creativity in children over the last decade. But there's another, they'll say that it's hard to know, but we're doing a huge social experiment. We don't know the outcome. Yes?
There's someone that said two things you wouldn't think are very related. Video games and mindfulness have something in common and benefit, and that is it increases ability to attend to something.
Uh-huh.
Because you can focus, so it helps people focus on something.
Well,
those activities. And
you're also, again, it is play, so you're also engaged, and yet in the context it's understood to be make-believe. You also know it's not real. So, and mindfulness is this kind of engage and observe at the same time. It's a very interesting thing. And in a way, video games are that. You're observing and engaging at the same time. But the fear is, then is that what we do with human relations? Because it's also good to let go of the observer and just engage. And in fact, the art of play therapy, in a way, is to be, if you want to say, at any given moment, 91% engaged and 9% observing. And then sometimes you have to step back, but to be able to really engage. And there is that role of you step back, and sometimes you pull out of the play and say, wait a minute, I know it's really fun to throw the sand, however, I need you to do it in the sandbox. And then you get really immersed and be part of the figures, and then you do Greek chorus. There are these levels of how connected. In many ways, TV, movies, and even books are adult play therapy, because we get to share in the collective fears. I mean, it's no accident what big shows are big shows at what times. We have a lot of scary shows going on nowadays. Sorry?
Zombies.
Oh yeah, a lot of dead stuff. Even Homeland, the whole terrorist thing, it impacts the collective psyche. And then about play therapy is the movies and TV shows, because it's a context we understand to be make-believe. Though again, we get unidyadic and think they're real characters. We want them to be those people. And we get to live unlived longings, the longed, unlived lives that we don't get to live. We get to live them through these characters, through our mirror neurons. So in a way, that's adult play therapy. Given how important and all the wonderful things play does, why do you need to be in the room? Why can't we just send kids in, just have them play on their own, and they're healed? Not to say that, of course, playing on their own doesn't do all kinds of wonderful things, scaffolding a human competence. Why do you need to be there?
Well, I think among other things, it actively affirms that it's okay. So you're not only saying it's okay, you're demonstrating that and participating in it with the child. So that's something that many parents may not do.
Really well said. We need a witness to our woes. We do need to feel connected to a real human being who is a witness to our woes. It's interesting, I had an adult client that I've seen for decades. He comes in every once in a while, and he came in and he said, people around me I used to be close to, I'm not close to them. My parents are going to die. People are going to die. I'm not going to have anybody that witnessed my life. And I said, oh my God, you're saying something so powerful. He goes, yeah. And I said, I'm a witness to your life. It's not the same, I understand. But because I've known him for decades, and I have witnesses. It's not the same. But of course, we have a need, again, to be connected. Another way to say it is a witness to our lives that we existed, that we were here, that it mattered. And you are, as a therapist, a witness to a life. So speaking thereof, a nice segue to the Carl tape. Oh, I probably was off camera. Oh, well, you heard me. It's UC Davis. It's 1979? Oh my God! Talk about decades ago. I have a 10-month internship. And within the first month, little Carl walks in. And I'm assigned the Carl case. as you will see in a moment. He is a pervasive developmental disorder kid. FLK. Funny looking kid. He is. He's a funny looking kid. He's a cutie pie. But kind of his mam's, what you expect if he lifted up his pant leg to see little goat feet. He's like a little I mean, he's just different. And he is. He has neurobiologically based differences. The history very quickly is he was adopted at age 2. Nobody knows anything about his dad. His mom was floridly psychotic for the first 2 years of life. How he ever existed, who knows? I guess the goodwill of neighbors and other people occasionally fed him or something. Finally, CPS got involved, pulled him out of the home. He is adopted into a family of 2 with a resentful dad who doesn't want him, and a mom who adores him and wants him. And of course, within 2 years, they have their own bio kid, little girl, Gina. You'll hear him say, Gina, little Gina. And dad adores little Gina. She's a princess to him, of course, and hates Carl. Yeah. Carl's a pain in the ass. Carl has tantrums. Carl does all kinds of things. I did individual therapy, as you'll see. I did filial therapy. I thought, okay, I'll train the dad to do this stuff with the kid. Talk about trying to teach somebody who's atonal to play Mozart. Or somebody who has no rhythm to do hip hop. I mean, this guy, I see you really would like to draw that. It looks like that's, I mean, if I could even get him to say that. I don't have any countertransference on this guy whatsoever, by the way. Yes.
How does he respond to his biological daughter in the same way that he...
Not at all. He adores her. Twinkle in the eye. Full tide phenomena for the biological daughter. This guy's Carl's a competition to him. He didn't want him in the first place. Just his wife had forced it on him, that kind of thing. He was also a very demanding husband, so I did some work with them together and trying to... He would... Honey, could you please at least like gather the peanut shells on the corner and not just have them spill all over? It'd be so much easier for me to clean up that way. A real feminist. He'd drive you out of your mind, but she's a sweetheart. She loved this kid. Okay. That is his backdrop. Now remember, Carl's a little cockapoo kid, right? This is an outpatient clinic in Sacramento. He'd come in, and he would run down the halls and open the door of other people's offices and go, cockapoo, and then run. Oh, yeah. He became a little mascot. Way before your time and before these things, there were things called typewriters. And the more modern ones had this thing called whiteout. So you mistype something, and you have to back it up, type it over with a whiteout, and then retype. Well, I'd hear the secretaries go, cockapoo, when they made a mistake. It just pervaded. His spirit, as you'll see, pervaded. And that's a saving grace, is he wanted to be connected, as you can see. Now, he also knew context. So, because one of the things that they say about these kinds of things, you're letting kids do all this stuff in this context. You're teaching them to do it out there. We used to have, at Southwood Mental Health, group therapy. The first thing they do a lot of times, they walk in the room. They're waiting there as if they have to go to the bathroom, to the group therapy room. You open up the door and go, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. Say, okay, do you need 2 minutes or 3 minutes of shit, fuck today? How much do you need? Because we do have other things to do. Okay, 3 minutes, we're done. Because they knew they couldn't say shit, fuck out in the unit, or if they did, bad things would happen. And they'd save it up and do. Now, I don't say shit, fuck to a person. You don't say fuck you. That's disrespectful. Little Carl, cockapoo, I went and visited him at a school. He was so thrilled. I walk in the door. He was like, he immediately runs to me and he takes me over to the corner, looks at me and whispers, cockapoo. You're so excited to see me, and you know it's okay to say cockapoo really loud in our place, magic place, but it's not okay to do it here. Very smart. Pigeons know. I guess they're not colorblind. I thought they were colorblind, but I've heard pigeons know to peck at the green dot in the red room and the red dot in the green room, or what they, brain this big can discern context and action. Okay? What else do I need to tell you? He's the one who said about 6 months into it, let me see your schlong. Actually, I think he called it, I can't remember what he called it. Anyway, he wanted to see it, and I said, and for a second, for a milli microsecond, I thought, like, sure. Because as you see, he's so innocent. And then he's the one, remember, as you watch him, that said, about 20 minutes later, when he went to the bathroom, now you. Again, context. Maybe he won't in there, but it's okay in here. Okay, so remember these things about him.
How old is he?
He is 4-ish, maybe 6. I think he's 6 actually in this tape. But he seems very young, as you will see. He's also the one, remember, this is the kid that I told him from the start, I'm leaving, meant nothing. The last 10 weeks it meant something. I gave him my parents' address and phone number. I told him when I got to Michigan in September I'd write to him, which I did. I gave him a Christmas card, and I wrote to him on his birthday. This is the kid, as you'll see when he goes off camera, where's Carl, where's Carl? Object permanence issues. I carry you in my heart, even if I'm not here in the body. Okay? I think we're ready. Lights, please. Thank you, thank you. Let me pre-apologize. The quality of this tape is horrible. No, it is. You're going to hear this sound. It's going to drive you crazy. The good news, it will fade away. It'll come back. You're not going to be able to understand some of it. I will tell you what's going on or saying. The reason I show you this tape is because it so epitomizes in so many ways all that I've been talking about in terms of play therapy, about the value and the meaning of relationship, I want you to look at this developmentally. This kid is going to go through, look at it from psychoanalytic, look at it from humanistic, the major developmental phases in this little 50-minute hour. You're going to watch it right unfold. I'm going to say, what stage is he in now? You're going to go, oh, he's in that stage. Yep. Watch what happens next. Oh, what stage is he now? Wow, he's in da-da-da. Yep. So it's really interesting that way. Furthermore, he grabs a theme, as you will see, that is the poetry of his soul. This is the essence of what's most relevant and significant for his existential existence. And it's rare in one session where you kind of get all of that. So I'm apologizing to bear through all the and weird stuff, but it's worth it because of all the things that happen in this one session. And not all sessions are all wow. If you can do at least one moment of, bimonic, we're connected, this was good, awesome. If you can do more than that, cool. Above else, do no harm. And be a witness to one's woes. Okay, which one's play? Here's play. Come on, play. 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 So let me tell you the scene. He's coming in. Yep. And I know, it'll go away, trust me. I left the monitor on. There's little Carl. He is looking for the ball. He played with the ball last time. And he is looking for the ball. The ball is at the day center. Okay, this is an outpatient clinic, so there's a day center. They happen to take the ball. From moment one, the issue of loss comes up. That's one of the themes, as you will see, about loss. Wondering where the ball is. It sounds like you'd like to play with the ball again. Mirror with heart. Again, notice I'm not going to ask him any questions. Maybe one or two the entire time that weren't necessary. Okay, you're wondering where the ball is. It's probably the day center's ball, and it's probably the day center. It's next door. Looks like it's not here. If you would like, I'll see to it the next week it's here. Partial gratification. I can't get it right now. Right now it's at the day center. I'll be sure that it's here next time. And right now you can play with something. By the way, footnote, I was not a tradeologist in those days. It's funny, when I watch this tape now, I was thinking, oh, you could say that about his trade. You could say about, I didn't learn that. It wasn't taught in grad school. I kind of figured that out. I just started doing that. So it's strange for me in a way where it's like, come on, tell me it's straight. And you thought I was kidding. You thought I really wasn't really meaning it. Yes, that's me. Yes, that is and does look like, not is, that looks like Manson with kind eyes. And yes, they let somebody who looked like that in 1979, alone with a little boy in a room. Is that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I guess maybe that's secretly one of the reasons I showed the tape, but not really. And that is amazing. I'm actually going to fast forward it because you're deciding what to do. Oh, he pushes me. You're mad at me because you want that ball. And you're wondering if I could get that ball for you. I'm sorry. You're still looking for that ball. You really want that ball. Going way up there. Ball. You're just throwing stuff all over the place. It's fun to make a big, big mess. To throw them straight behind you. I'm going to help you down if you want. What you don't see right now is he says hug. Again, you'll see a lot more as this unfolds. And I say, you want a hug, and I hug him, and he hugs me deeply.
He says hug?
Hug. He just turns and says hug, and I hug him deeply, deeply. Now, what I'm not saying, wow, you're really determined. You want to get that ball. Nothing's going to, no mountain too high to climb, no cabinet too high to climb. You are so, what's called tenacious. Boy, you stick to it until you do it, till you find it. Bravo, that will serve you well in life. I look at that and I go, come on. But I don't, I wasn't trained, that wasn't what I said. But I did reflect, it's really important to you, you want that ball, and I'll see to it that it's here next time. If I can. That was a question. You want to just hug? I'd say it looks like you want to just hug. You deciding you want to go back up there. Ideation. You're very determined. Whoa. Go fast forward because I want to get to another spot. What he does is he grabs all those little puzzle pieces and he starts working on the puzzle for a little while. And I reflect. And now, as you might imagine, he's a very, very assimilative child. He's not accommodative. He's going to make the world force fit to his schemas and realities. So he approaches the puzzles exactly the same way. He just starts to like, I'm going to get these to go whether they fit or not. Because it's not about my conforming to them. I'm going to make them go to how I want them. And then he does something very interesting. If I can get it to that point quick enough. But he does have a marvelous ability to stick with things. He is very tenacious. Some would say stubborn. The positive reflecting, spirited. The positive reflecting of stubbornness is spiritedness, spunkiness, any of those traits and qualities.
I'm just wondering, if a child all of a sudden starts climbing in your cabinets right now, like today in your office, would you go ahead and...
As long as I catch him, as long as my insurance policy is intact. Oh, sure, I'd say you really want to. If I thought the cabin was going to fall, I'd say, I see it's really fun for you and yay for your adventurous spirit, but I'm afraid it's going to fall. So let's find some other way. I do try to partially gratify. Window in the door. All that stuff we talk about parenting. Try to do it in a mega way in this context for 45 minutes. And he's very inquisitive. I mean, it's funny. I just look at the world now. It's traits and I didn't them. Once you do, though, you see it everywhere. And remember, what we say to them at 3, they'll say to themselves at 30. And we want them to say accurately positive things.
So what are you saying right now?
Oh, I'm just reflecting. You're putting that in. You're working really hard at it. You're trying to make that fit. It's frustrating to you that it doesn't fit. Okay, now he turns his attention to something else. You're deciding to do something else. You can play with it wherever you like. You can play with it right where you are, over there on the table. It's up to you. So I put a whole box full of all kinds of people, all kinds of stuff. And he very purposefully does not want to use those. You know what you like and don't like, what you want to use and don't want to use. Good for you. You don't want to use those foods, so you're putting them away. The house is all empty, there's nobody home. That's called pushing the river and then realizing what you just did. There's nobody home, there's nobody home. You say that several times on both houses. And I say it because there really isn't anybody home, but he picks up the theme. If I was wrong, you would say, yeah, the people home. Oh, okay. So down here, I'm feeling his pain, actually. There's nobody home. So I say, hi, Carl, I'm home, you came to visit. He looks at me and says, there's nobody home. I say, there's nobody home. The house is all empty. There's nobody home. Now, one of the things you'll hear me do, and you'll see, is I will sometimes amplify a feeling in my tone of voice. So he's like, there's nobody home. There's nobody home. So I put a little sadness to it. The house is all empty. There's nobody there. So sometimes I'll mirror, and sometimes again, it's a tuning fork. I'll voice another aspect of him. And if I'm not accurate, he'll change it, and then I'll pay attention and go, oh, okay, hey, cool, nobody's home, fantastic. We got to run around like crazy. Good times are here again. Happy days. You're wondering if anybody's home. You caught that, right? Nobody's home. Nobody's home. Nobody's home. What is this saying to him?
Comforting him.
Sorry, yeah.
Comforting.
There's nobody home there, but I'm here home for you. Exactly what you're saying. I'm going to help you, and you're going to be able to explore and express your aloneness because you're going to feel connected to me. In my connection to you gives you the courage, gives you the comfort to explore your aloneness. Please.
Is that the same house you have now?
No. I wish I had that house. It was. By the way, it was U.C. Davis's house. I didn't steal it. They didn't give it to me as a going away present. And by the way, I don't think about this. I don't go, he's really alone right now, so I think I should take my right hand and pull it on his right shoulder. It's human. I love this little boy. I care about him. I hear he's feeling alone, so I spontaneously, genuinely, chimpanzees, greet each other and hug. That level of primalness, put my hand gently on his shoulder. But it tells him, you're not alone in your aloneness. It down. Looks like you're looking for just the right thing. And it's not there. You're going to put those away. Anybody home? Decide not to use those. There's the garage. The good news is there's a key that went home. Again, I'm sorry that it's hard to hear it. He's saying, is he gone again? He starts to look like, and there's nobody in the garage. But there's a he. He went home. So at least there is an other out there. He starts out with, it's like a kite in a hurricane without a string. There is nobody. Talk about disconnection. There is nobody. But, well, there is somebody. He's not home, and he's not maybe with me, but there is somebody in existence someplace. That's a good sign, diagnostically, about who he is and how he sees the world. Let me just pray.
So with this, all of his curiosity of looking for something, it would be so hard not to ask, what are you looking for so we can help you?
Oh, no, yeah.
He's just so curious. He's obviously looking for something.
Well, he's looking for somebody. It's clear that he's saying, he's exploring to see if this, he knows there's nobody there. I mean, there's no figure. He's already open. Remember he looked at? Not only that, he's very intentionally seeing to it that there's nobody there. Right? I give him all the stuff, he puts it away. He even thinks, okay, maybe, brings it out. No, he really, really needs it totally empty. So it's not so much that he's looking for something, he is testifying. If you want to talk about witnessing, he is making a testimony. There is nobody home. Well, and if you want to extrapolate, you want to be a little analytic. By the way, you're absolutely right. First 2 years of your life, there was nobody home. His mom would sit in a rocking chair hallucinating. There was nobody home. But that has, you know, you can take it a bigger step and talk about the home, if you want to be Jungian, as kind of a symbol of self. There's external home, there's internal home. You don't want to have nobody home in the internal self. But that's, again, first it's a we, me, you know, in that transition, there was no we. Holy schmoly. That's huge. So it would do no good for me to ask him, what are you looking? I know what he's looking. There's nobody home. And he keeps telling me there's nobody home. But there's this he now that he's starting to create that lives somewhere else. And that's going to develop, as you'll see. Nobody home. And he keeps doing it. Anybody home? You keep looking, see if anybody's home. Keep wondering. It's so weird nobody's home. So weird. You keep wondering if anybody's home. Nobody's there. Everybody's gone. A lot of it is just stringing the words he says and just making it into a complete sentence. You do it a lot of times with kids. Just take the words they're saying and then put it in one big sentence. There's nobody home. He's all gone. The house is all empty. I would add, it seems unbelievable to you that nobody's there, and you keep looking and wondering and hoping, and there's nobody there. It's so weird. Bye-bye. By the way, sometimes I couldn't understand what he was saying. So sometimes I'd say, and you'll hear me at one point say, I'm not sure what you're saying, but I know it's important. Because he is saying something important, but I sometimes couldn't understand it. There'll be this whole thing about, in a few minutes, about slip and slide. That people went to the park to go slip and slide. It takes me the longest time to figure out what he's saying. Oh, slip and slide. Yes?
I feel like it's interesting. I think most kids would be, well, nobody's home, how come? They would ask questions, why? And what do you respond?
Oh, I've never had a kid do that. I've never had a kid say, nobody's home, why? Because it's a rhetorical question. They're making a comment about an existential state of their experience. So in a way, it's more rhetorical. It's more trying to tell me something, but they're doing it in question form. It's more telling me, can you believe this? There was nobody home. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's nobody home. And you get it? Nobody. Nobody was there. I mean, of course somebody should be there. My God, I'm like 2 years old. I'm a kid. How can it be that there's nobody there? It's ridiculous. So, you know, like with trauma victims, they'll ask a rhetorical question over and over and over and over again. And it's really not a question. It's a statement of being outraged. Again, talk about fairness and unfairness. Talk about that banana, the grapes and the bananas. It's not fair. It's not. It shouldn't be like this. You're right. So we phrase it in a question form. Should it? It couldn't be. How could it possibly be like that? It's really a statement. The other thing, and this is a good example about pushing the river or not. I did it earlier, nobody's home. Hi, I'm home. Oh, okay, nobody's home. The purists would let him do this all session long for the next 50 years if that's what he needed to do. Others, including myself, try to add things. Obviously, I added something way too early. I backed off. I'm not going to add anything else the rest of the session. It's up to him. If he kept doing this for 5 sessions, somewhere along the line, I'm going to see if I can add something to the schema that connects enough with him that he'll change it. Again, back to your question about how long does it take? How long does it take for him to feel like somebody's really home and be able to experience that? So I try, and if he's still like nobody's home, fine, we'll keep going. But I do think we can get stuck. It's almost like OCD. And I do think you can sometimes cube on. Now the purists would say, you're full of poo-poo, man. Caca poo-poo on you, dude. That's ridiculous. It's just you're westernized, modernized, videoized. Everything's got to be quick. It's all quick. Life's in 90 seconds. I also think you can get stuck. I could be wrong. Everybody's gone. They go to the park and slip and slide. Wondering if anybody's home. Slide, Yanon. They went to the park to play slip and slide. Yes, very good. Okay. Nobody's home, nobody's home, nobody's home. He went home. Nobody's home, nobody's home, nobody's home. They went to eat dinner. No, nobody's home, nobody's home, nobody's home. They went to the park. Nobody's home. They went to the park to play slip and slide. Do you see how he's just working this? He's working so hard. Man, he had fMRI in his brain. He is so trying to figure out, how am I putting my universe together? There was nobody home, but there are people out there. Man, these adopted parents, this guy. There are people who are with kids. Never mind, they feed them, but they go to the park, they have fun together. But nobody's home, but nobody's home. My experience is nobody's here. But there are, so there's this like transitions between schemas. He's trying to create. Remember again that image of the self where it's an illusion, that box? Was adding pieces to change what that illusion looks like of who he is. And then he goes, and I very purposely, as I did with you in the baby bottle, go, dinner, yummy. So there was this guy named John Rosen, psychoanalyst, who worked with floridly psychotic folk, pre-medication days, way back in the 40s and 50s. And actually, they would get into such a fervor, their fever would spike, and some of them actually died. And he did what he called direct analysis. And he would interpret for them directly what their states were. So one of the things he would say is, for example, the psychotic would say, you know, mommy's milk was sour. Mommy's milk was sour. He would always say, my milk is sweet. The milk here is good. Somebody thought the FBI was after him, he'd have one of the staff dressed in a trench coat like the FBI. Have a list, we're taking you off the list. Somebody thought they were Jesus, he'd say, bring a bucket. I am God, you can no longer walk on water. Go ahead, step in the water. Huh? Can't walk. I'm God, I'm going to take great care of you. I mean, he just went right into their psychosis and tried and worked with it, through it. It was a guy named R.D. Lang who would do that. There were other therapists who were famous. There was another one who she'd tell, go tell your demons that I am stronger than them and I will destroy them and stop them from destroying you. Go tell your demons now. Well, John Rosen was very much like that. Footnote, when I was at St. George Homes, I remember this new kid coming. I asked him his earliest memory, and sure enough he said, Mommy's milk was sour. And I looked at him and said, the milk here is really good. We even have chocolate milk. I'll get you a glass if you want. And I was actually reading Rosen's stuff at the time. There was a book called Savage Sleep. It was a novel on Rosen's stuff. So I very purposely say, this milk is good. Now, I know him. If it wasn't good, he'd go, ooh. And then I would have switched and said, oh, it's awful milk. It's terrible. He doesn't. What stage is he in now? Oral stage. He was like pre-oral. Nobody's home. There's no wee. To do oral, you got to have a wee. Whether it's a breast or a bottle, you got to have a wee. Well, there is a we out there. Okay, maybe I can now bring in a we for me. It isn't a person. It's just an object. But it's food. Yummy. Now they're eating dinner. Yummy, yummy. Love can be good, nourishing. Now he's ready to at least set up chairs for people. So first it's just a barbecue. Now there is this thing called people. I'm going to at least set up the chairs. He does not pick on, he keeps eating. You're eating right up. He has a chair for his little sister Gina. Looks like they're very hungry. Yeah, right up. That's very powerful what just happened. Nobody's home, they're apart, subside, eating, dinner, oh, there's a barbecue, oh, there can be people here, even my sister, we can do this together. I'm looking, I'm thinking I could say, you're so hungry, and it was so nice now to have some food at last, and enough for everybody to share and be together. And then he turns to me and he hugs me. And he wants to make the fantasy reality. It's like a dream task in the Jungian sense. In the best of worlds, I would have gone to the park and played slip and slide with him. So you merge the imagined and the real. Can't do that right now. I see you really would like to, unfortunately we can't. And then he goes, Mommy, Mommy, come on, Mommy. So first I think, oh, you want your mommy. And then I realize, maybe when I hold you like this, you feel that's, by the way, interpretation. You feel like I am your mommy, or maybe you'd want me to be your mommy. Come on, Mommy, come on, Mommy. Now that's real. He's gone from the imagined to it's a different type of real. It's more real than play figures. I'm not really his mom. So it's still in a context understood to be make-believe. But the connection and the functionality, the associative connection is, you are my mommy. We are now a we. Now I can birth a me out of this we. So oral to reality of a relationship.
Oh, the curtains, where are the curtains? Yeah, the curtains got broken. So they're not up anymore right now. They're gone right now.
For those of you who ever saw the Harlem Monkey thing, they bond, and then they explore. Oh, wow. And then, of course, he notices anything has to do with loss. Oh, where are the curtains, dude? Oh, curtains. But the interesting thing is connect, and now I'm recharged. I can now go to the world and explore. Like to explore, you're wondering how these things work. You have a very curious mind. You like to explore. Where's Carl? There's Carl. I'm touching him. He's right here.
Sometimes it feels to you, but you don't see yourself on the trail. As if you're gone. There you are. And you're it's as if you're gone and you don't see yourself on TV. Like you went away.
The theme of being gone is very big in this child's psychological life.
There's the shade, that's right. That's the shade that goes to the Right, that's a shade, yeah. The trouble is that the voltage for the shade fell down, so that it doesn't stay up anymore.
Notice I tend not to be more than 3 feet away from him at all times. Never mind because okay, I'm sorry, I said something just as he said that. He said, hello. Sometimes when I'd see him, for whatever reason, go, hello, love. So he's internalized me. So it's important that he said, hello. So I say, you're saying hello to me the way I say hello to you. It's all about internalization. We, me, we, me, we, me, we, me.
Nobody's going
So he goes to the other house and he does this whole thing in 30 seconds. Nobody's home. They went to the park and slipped a slide. Hug, hug, I want to go home. You really want to go home, real home, real home. He looks and he pulls in, and I says, like, he's going to lose me too. I'm like, right here. The issue isn't resolved, but it's interesting how quickly he went through it. And just goes, zoop. And again, he might come back. I don't remember the following up session, but I don't remember whether he did all this or not. But it's interesting how quick, and then he grabs and holds. Did you have a comment, or you were just moving on? No, okay. You're doing something, I'm not sure. Oh. You want the shoes.
It's just, no, you want to see, you want to see your ear.
So there are those who would say, first he showed you his emotional wound, now he wants to show his physical wound. He wants a witness to his being wounded. See? Remember the three pigs, right? House gets burned down, blown down, and one is forever. Going home. He's throwing things up in the air everywhere he can. Throwing things, and now he's trying to take the chalk and toss it everywhere, which he knows I don't allow.
You're liking to test my limit.
Liking to test my limit. Looks like you're liking to test my limits, test how much I'll allow and not allow.
Looks like either an angry face or sad face. Yeah. An angry face. No, I don't. She's from chocolate.
holding
Too
him.
much fitness. Too long to clean it up and have to go, and other people need to use the tools. No, I'm not going to let you go.
What stage of development is he in now? Yes. I mean, it's perfect, right? He does all that bonding. First, he's unbonded. Oh my God, disconnected, nobody home, nothing. And then somebody abstracted, and then me, and those hugs. And that one, you couldn't see because my face, he's exploring my face the way infants, you're a little pumpkin, and you will explore your face. It's so primal. And now he gets some independence, and now, butt noise, butt noise. You can't get more anal than that. I don't know if you heard him. He goes around saying butt noise. I'm announcing it. I am now in the anal phase. Butt noise, independence, autonomy. What's the first word of identity? Remember this? The first word of identity?
No.
Correct. No. No. No is me, separate from we. Yes is we together. No. And he's telling me one big, you know. And he's finding things to force me to set a limit so he can say no. You got to have something to push off of to say no. If I say yes to everything, there's no no. He's got to find the no to define himself in an environment that's safe. He knows I'm not going to punish him. The worst I do is when he starts throwing it, is grab, and I say, I know it's fun for you to make a mess. You don't like me to set limits. Again, what I don't say is bravo for your spunky spirit. Yay for you and your ability. Boy, do you assert yourself. Nobody's going to push you around in life. Bravo. It's hard to what's called accommodate. It's hard to say yes sometimes when you really don't feel like it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But developmentally, that's perfect. You have a common question?
I was just wondering, when you do have the kids come in and they wreak havoc in your office, do you ask them to be part of the cleanup process?
Generally not, for two reasons. One's efficiency, and the other is free, sheltered space. You can do anything. There are times when I specifically do have them be part of the cleanup. One was a kid, for example, his mom was part of the therapy. It was the three of them. He had a very crazy dad, and he would make a mess at home. And so we had a deal. The three of us said he was going to clean up one little area before he goes to the other. Otherwise, my whole office would be in such chaos, I wouldn't have time to clean it all up. He refused one time. So, Mom, he and I said, I said, well, you won't be able to do the next thing until you clean up. He spent the rest of the 47 minutes of a 50-minute hour, because he made the mess right away, just sitting there. Yay for his spunky spirit. And I did say, when you come next time, you'll have to first clean up a little something. And because I asked Mom, who's there, what do you want to do? And she said, he needs to clean that up. So, and that was fine. And when he came in the next time, he immediately looked for something to clean up. Fortunately, there's always something to clean up. In general, I don't. Others do, that's fine, it depends. With him, I'm not going to have him clean that up right now. Okay, so butt noise, no, screaming. I actually have to physically pull him away. And then,
You want to float? You can throw all these things.
and I give him an option. But that's not the point. He needs to define himself.
So what you can throw these things. These guys you can throw all you want.
When he feels defined enough in himself to not have to say no, he will cooperate.
Anger, why you feeling this wrong thing? You want me to chase you around? I don't want you on the top because I'm not sure that you're going to throw it. Find out. Yeah, you get angry. You can really
By the way, chasing tag is a great game of separately together. I'm separate from you, but engage with me, we're together. And that's what he started to do, separately together. He knows I don't want him to mess with the microphone, but I'm not going to mess with him. It wasn't worth pushing that at this point. And now he's going to go draw. So I give him an alternative for the expression of whatever it is that's going on with him. And that's what he chooses to do. He will now draw. For time's sake, what he's doing the rest of the session, which will be another 5 minutes or something, is just draw. It's also a way for him to center himself, come back within himself together. And he loved being up high. As I told you, a lot of times I will purposely put myself lower than the child. So the child will be standing and I'll be sitting like this or down. So a lot of times I'll be lying down. And the child will be just a little higher than me. And it's cool that he was able to, even when I said, I don't know if you're mad or not, he went to the blackboard and did this angry drawing and said, shut up. That he had internalized that as a way of at least somehow trying to contain and express a feeling in a pro-social manner. Look at how high he is, way up there. Little goat-footed lad. And I want you to see the very last moments. He wants to wash my hand. He wants to wash his hands. He loved to play with water because he could watch it fill up and go away. And he was in control of that. The coming and going. You have 30 more seconds. See how close I am to it? Because I am going to stop on time. And I know you're having a really lot of fun playing with the water. It is time to go. Bye-bye, Yanon. It's very cooperative. Thoughts, feelings, fantasies, reactions. Again, I apologize. It's so hard to understand some of it. But you get the nonverbal, the prosody. You think? Was it what you thought it would be in that sense, in terms of play therapy in action? Relation-based, mirror with heart.
It was surprising to me how quickly he shifted moods.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went through a whole spectrum of moods within such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It was new to me.
Yeah, and kids will do that, and they will suddenly blurt out something, and then like the philotherapy one, the little girl will cut off the arms out of the blue, and then just totally regroup and be, it's different brain states. Yeah. Again, I didn't ask, as one or two, I didn't need to ask any questions whatsoever. I could just be a mirror with heart. I tend to now say more, as I said, tradeology kinds of things, some other things. I was very purely trained at that time in practicing that. Okay. I want you to watch one of the tape. We got about 10 minutes, and it's a quick demonstration tape. And then off you go. By the way, I think I told you, I got a card from him, really from his parents, in that summer after I saw him. I stopped about in June, so around August or something. I've never heard from him since. I'm hoping there's somebody home for him when he goes home at night. All right, let me get this out. Which one is the eject? I can't tell which one's eject. Is this eject? Nope, that's play. Which one's eject? Stop. And eject, eject, eject. That's eject. Yes. Very quickly, this is two kids. I saw them one time in class here. I have no big relationship with them, but it's later on. So I do some other things different with kids that you just meet. Healthy kids. In fact, they played in here and they were so almost like a player piano.
Now, we appreciate you spending this time with me and my team helping us make this tape.
His dad is doing the camera.
Today, see, you're already looking in there. You can think anything you want. Okay, you can feel anything you want, and you can say anything you want. You can do almost anything. So you're already so interested in this. You'd rather be doing that than listening to the directions, and that's just fun. So you can do that.
You got to be present. His dad's running the camera. His sister is standing next to his dad. That's my old office, not the one I'm in now.
Those things looks like you're trying to figure out how they go together. Now that we'll be spending about 10 minutes, not a real long time. Thanks, you're deciding how to put that together. I'd be delighted to help you if you want, or you can continue to figure it out on your own. That's up to you. I'd be happy to help you. It doesn't actually like snap on together, but people will put it on like this. See what I mean? They just can't put it next to each other in whatever way you want.
The trait is, yay, that you're able to try things on your own, and you're also able to know when it's time to ask for help. That's really the trait, which is a very useful thing. Again, the Roberts Eye Perception Test, it's one of the issues of competence. Do it yourself, but also know when to ask for help. A good, useful thing in life.
Trying to figure out. Oh, well, there you go, you figured it out. What's the other way? Out. Down there. Like you're saying, just the way you want. Lie down. Him or her in there.
Him or her.
Figured it out. There. Looks like a horse. Usually seen as a horse, though, and you can do whatever you want. Oh boy, I'm gonna go for a ride. Up we all fell out. Oh wow. Fun. Now you're looking over there. Set up. Wee! Oh, I fell down! Said that person, I guess. The horse comes over here, and the horse is stomping all over that person, it looks like.
Notice I keep looking at his face. I keep looking at his face.
Fence all set up again after the horse tore it all down. Figure out what to do next. The horse, Minnie. She's gonna try and ride it, or she, whichever. To you. Whoa, he gets, or she gets thrown off. Is that he or she?
He's not going to answer.
Going to play throwing it up, okay? It's kicking, it looks like. Boom! Bam! Smash! Take that! Ooh! It's all getting smashed up. Boom! The horse is smashing everything around and stomping. Stomp, stomp. Oh, you're stomping at me, said the person. So the next door neighbor came over and said, "You guys be quiet." The horse and they go making so much noise and bugged the neighbor. Setting up the hips again. Now you set up so the horse can't get out. That horse is pretty wild, stomping on things, making lots of noise. So now you're having so the horse can't get out. The horse might be frustrated it can't get out, I don't know. Oh, so maybe it was escaping. It looks like you're putting that on there. Harness or whatever. Figure it out. Oh, the horse is taking the tractor. Dragging it. Oh, goes the tractor. Over to the cart. Stepping up the cart so that the tractor can pull it.
And the pig's in a place.
And now the pig's going to the place.
Pig, you can take the pig to the gates.
He's going to take the pig to the gates. Okay. said, I guess we'll say the farmer. Farmer, I guess, was taking the pig to the gates. Over here. And jump right in there. Put it right there. Taking that ball out. We have 5 more minutes of play today. And put that little ball in there. She goes right back to the spot. And that person, who is that? Don't know.
See?
It's all up to you in here.
It interrupts the flow if I ask you a question.
Mom, dad, who it is, but there's 2 of them.
And again, I could have said, I'm wondering who that is.
In the little bit of tractor. Up we go for a ride. Moving all the way around.
Come back.
And then they come back. They get out, they go to bed, it looks like.
Notice how he starts to self-reflect. He will start saying what he is doing. It's the inner compassionate observer. It's the inner wise one,
Looks
ultimately.
like the dog.
Barn dog.
It's a barn dog. Oh! And a sheep and a cow. Cow's right there. Here's the sheep. Man! The sheep. Oh, the sheep's gonna stay in there. Closing that up. He's closed up. Safe and protected in there.
Safe and protected in there.
Got the car in the garage. Oh boy, I'm gonna grab the car. Oh, something happened.
Puts the rock, you go in the back.
Oh, okay, so he punched him out, I guess, and he's going in the back. I want to ride. Punch you, bam, and off they go in the back. Off they go for a ride. Oh, the piggy's on top of the barn. Oh, wee! Fell off. Smash. Oh, I smashed into the ground, said the piggy. And it comes fooling around. Now it's in the camera. Round and round. You have just a few more minutes. Keep looking up. And shut the garage. Open the garage now. And then how we go. It's shut.
I'm just whispering back exactly what he's saying.
I go driving around. And they're back. We're back now. Shut that. So you need to be careful with it. It's disruptive. That person's right on his head. Comes the horse. Person leaping leaps right onto the horse. And off they go. But the horse now crashes, and then it seems to be okay. Kiddo, we've got just 1 more minute to play today. So there's still a little smoke in this. We're going to need to stop. Oops. Okay, hang on a sec. I'm going to have a sister here in a moment. There we go. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Watch.
Now, go ahead and turn it off.
Oh, you might have some feelings about the fact that I'm making you stop playing. Thoughts, feelings, fantasies, or actions. Obviously, I don't have some huge relationship with this kid. I've seen him once before in this classroom, and then I brought him there, and I gave him each a $25 Toys R Us certificate or something. What do you think? What do you see? Thoughts, feelings? okay, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Notice that. And this is pretty true about every play. There's a dilemma. There's a conflict. There's an expression about, there's a problem here that we have to deal with. In this one, it was the wild horse, right? You have this wild horse. It's crashing and bashing. But then it also moved the cart. So and again, if we think it's an aspect of him, of course he's got his own little wild horseness that wants to smash, bash, and crash, but it also can help and move the cart and move things along. Almost all play will have that kind of element. There's a problem here. There's a dilemma about myself that I got to try to find a resolution for. So I could have said, I didn't say, I said, whoa, the horse is wild. On the other hand, it can be very helpful. Do notice again that he does start to self-reflect. Kids will do that. The little girl yesterday, by the end, was starting to self-reflect. That's incredibly useful. We want the compassionate observer instead of the critic. The inner president that can watch everything and go, okay, this is needed, that's needed, this is what needs to happen. That's incredibly helpful. There was something else. Well, that was helpful. That's basic. But also know how quickly you could sit down with this kid. He doesn't even know you yet. You say, think, feel, say anything. You dive in. You'll be immediately diving into his world. They will express very quickly their reality. And you are a co-participant. All right. There's another part to this when the girl comes, but it's late and you're tired and you want to get to your spring break. I totally respect that. I am going to send you this video. So you can either watch that or just go through this one quick and then see her part. I'm also going to send you the one that I sent you with the little infant. I think she's 6 weeks or something. And I'm also going to send you one that's 35 minutes. You look at it or not, or how much you want to look at, it's up to you. That I actually am making as the backdrop for what I'm going to use for my app. And that's with, I think he's about 3 years old. You will be very well prepared by the time you come here next week. Now, who's bringing which kid first? You're bringing first, you're second. Okay. Have fun. Enjoy.